This is Gary Schnitke, and this is a 5-minute Farm Doc Daily dealing with our IFES presentation and what did we learn from delayed planting and some of the farm management implications thereof. Again, we're going to assume as we're looking at this that the individual took RP crop insurance so that there was the opportunity to take a preventive planting payment. And our big lesson after looking at 2019 and all of the prevails we went through is that once the final planting date has come, the strong preference should be to take the prevent plant payment. If you look at the plantings that occurred after June 5th in the state, even though we had very good yields for those particularly corn crops that were planted after that date, taking the preventive planting payment would have resulted in more income in most situations. And this is assuming that we've taken a pretty high coverage level on RP, 80 and 85 in the northern and central part of the state, and 75% in the southern part of the state. We also learned that you need to build in higher drying costs, $50 an acre or more for late planting, which will again reduce the incentives to plant late. And MFPs this year just introduced a new policy issues. As we're looking at it, June 5th is the final plant date for corn in most of the state, May 31st in the extreme southern part of the state. And again, once that final plant date has been arrived at, taking prevent plant is an alternative. And again, we have to remember that once that final plant date has arrived, it doesn't matter if the ground is fit to plant, you can take a prevent plant payment once that final plant date has arrived. A couple other important lessons that we learned this is that if you're going to do something because of price some of it. This year we did a lot of planting after June 5th in corn, and we were betting on $4.50 and maybe higher prices on corn. If we're betting on that and we have that opportunity, which we did this past June, price at least some of it. The other thing that we learned is that don't bet on short crops, and you can go broke betting on short crops. Many of us this year, myself included, thought we were going to have low acres and low yields. As it turns out, we had a lot of acres and not as low yields as we expected, and that resulted in lower prices than what we anticipated. And again, that would have made the planting option look less attractive if we would have been more realistic about some of the expectations. Again, big lesson. If we reach that final plant date, have RP at a pretty high coverage level, take the prevent plant payment.